everything that they ever tell us is bullshit. One of them is that food pyramid, that dairy is good for the bones and calcium. Literally, milk actually strips the bone of calcium. Yeah. You know, they tell us don't look at the sun because it will make us go blind. Sun gazing actually stimulates your pineal gland to open up your third eye so you can move on different dimensions of densities. Everything they ever have told us is a lie. They tell us that our heart is a pump. Your heart is not a pump. Your heart is a valve. Your lungs is a pump that pumps the blood to the heart. The heart is a valve mechanism that controls the cardio output of blood. Everything they tell us about everything is a lie. They tell you your hair is just hair. No, our hair is non-ether hair. It is actually an extension of your nervous system. It is used to scan the environment, and it brings all of these different melanin neurotransmitters back to your skin to tell you whether to actually engage in the environment or take fight or flight and run away. That's why you get gut feelings. That's why when you see paranormal activities, the hair on your skin stand up. So everything that they ever told us about ourselves is a lie. But it's cool because they don't know who we are. So if we study ourselves and we unlock our junk DNA by eating the right foods we're supposed to be eating, we can awaken something called the Akashic Records. And the Akashic Records is this infinite, endless library inside of your DNA. Your DNA is literally like a hard drive. It holds trillions and trillions and trillions of information. And you have literally a DNA fragment in each of your cells. Remember, you have 150 trillion cells in your body. Every cell have its own coil of histines and DNA. Each of these DNAs, if you were able to lay it out, it will fill 600 million page books. That's how much information in you, and we not even tapping into 1% of it because of the environment and what we're eating. So if we just start with the food and change our diets into livids, it would allow us to express who we truly are. And once you find out who you are, can't nobody tell you nothing different about you.
First of all, understand that if you're a U.S. citizen, you do not own anything. What? If you paid your house off, you don't own it. You have an equitable interest in the property, but you don't own it. Only way you can own anything in America, and actually own it, is with something called allodial title. Allodial. Allodial, I think that's the way it's spelled. Allodial. Allodial title. Allodial title means God cannot touch it. No one. Because it's absolute owned by you. But if you don't buy your car, your jet plane, your boat, your house, whatever it is, and have an allodial title, then you don't own it. And the authorities can come in and take your home anytime they want. It's interesting. Banks cannot touch anything that has an allodial title, cannot touch it. Government cannot touch it. No one can touch anything that is bought under a allodial title. Go look it up in a dictionary. Look it up in a law dictionary. Allodial title. Very interesting. The Queen of England, everything she owns is an allodial title. Means God can't touch it. Yeah. So, and Americans can buy stuff in allodial title. You just have to know how to do it.
Okay, so when the big banks finally go down, or when your bank goes down, you people need to be looking for this. And when they come back up, this is months ago, I told you folks you should be studying contract law. Because if your bank switches currency, that is voiding your mortgage contracts. I told you to study contract law. If you don't understand that statement, I can't do it for you. If you want to be free, you must learn how to take responsibility for your freedom. So let's paint a scenario here. Your bank goes down on a Friday. Monday they come up and you have digits in your account again. I would assume that is a CBDC, that is not fiat currency. When your mortgage becomes due, make sure you have cash on hand. You take cash directly to your bank and you attempt to make your payment with the cash. If they refuse it, they just voided your mortgage. Okay, and I could expand on that a little bit more, but nonetheless, if you do not know how to stand on this according to contract law, it's not going to do you any good anyways. So make sure you have a copy of your mortgages and you're reading through your contracts and you're looking up the definitions, like I told you folks before, because your mortgage contracts were created in this system of fiat currency. And if the banks switch their currency, that is breach of contract, because there's no way that a fiat currency is going to transition to a CBDC for the same amount of value. and they have to prove that it's the same currency. If they're telling you it's the same currency, then why wouldn't they accept your cash? That's a whole other issue, though. So if you're not prepared for a banking collapse now, what do you do? What do you do? We're all poor, right? We haven't been able to go out and buy land and get the things that we need to prepare. So this is what I mean by I believe God is using the cryptocurrency as a stepping stone for his people to get his people out. And I know that folks feel like, well, I don't want to buy into the system. The digital currency system's already here, okay? You not participating in it and putting yourself in a position to have to accept a CBDC is going to be very bad for you and your family. Because guys, once you spend $1 of that, you have just agreed to the system. So for those of you concerning your mortgages, as I was just saying earlier, make sure you do not spend $1 or you've just accepted the system. Meaning you cannot argue your mortgage contract or your contracts based upon the fact that they've switched the currency. Because once you spend $1, you've just accepted.
I just want to ask you, please, just watch this very long video that I'm going to play right after this. I just want to let you know, this is a very important one. You want to see this. Glenn Beck is about to lay it all out, and this is amazing. So please watch this.
God bless. So when the history of cable news is written, assuming anyone bothers to write it, but if it ever is written, Glenn Beck will have his own chapter as possibly the greatest synthesizer of big ideas ever to appear on camera. And a lot of people made fun of Glenn Beck over the years for that, but if you go back and watch the tape, you will find out that maybe more than any other person on television, Glenn Beck got it right. Again and again and again. So we thought tonight is the perfect opportunity to hear from him. He's the co-founder of Blaze Media. He's just written a book called The Great Reset, and he joins us now for an overview of what we're watching. Glenn Beck, thank you so much for coming on tonight. How
thank you. It's
would you
very
interpret
kind of you
this?
to say.
Well, it's true.
So let me, I've got a couple of things here for you. Let me just go through. I'm going to bring I think a different perspective to this. We have the banking crisis. They say it's fine. It's just beginning. Yesterday, we had the Saudis and Brazil and China enter a deal to where the petrodollar is over. Brazil and China are going to trade in their own currency. That's the beginning of the end of our currency. That means a dollar collapse. That means we become Venezuela. We will have war with China. We will have war with Russia and Iran. We have the Restrict Bill. We have social media and our NSA and everybody else in bed with each other, silencing people. We, of course, have the raccoon dogs, which we all know is bullcrap. And now this week, we have a new gun grab that they're trying to do. Biden and his family taking money from the Chinese. What do you think this Donald Trump thing is really all about? The America that we knew, the fundamental transformation that started in 2008 is finished. We are no longer viewed as a superpower. We are now an elderly, we're Joe Biden just walking into the twilight. What this is all about, I believe, is trying to inflame this country. They've wanted violence from the right from the beginning. They can't wait it. They need it, because if we strike out, look at January 6th, the day they're letting the shaman out of prison because it was all trumped up. Thank you, Tucker Carlson, for revealing this. The day they're letting him out, they do this to Donald Trump. They want you to strike out. Why? Because then they can close the cage. I'm going to make another prediction for you, Tucker. You said I got it right. Well, everything I've been talking about since 2008, this is the time. I'm going to make a prediction. By 2025, we are going to be at war. We are going to have a new dollar, a currency that probably is coming from the central bank. We'll have a currency collapse. And we will live in a virtual police state. I know that might sound crazy to a lot of people. It's not far off. The Bill of Rights is gone. Nobody is paying attention. Where are the Republicans? Where are the decent Democrats that can see this is insanity? Donald Trump, the reason why this is going to help Donald Trump, and that's why I don't think they're doing it so he can't run. They're doing it because they want people to strike out. Please turn to God, repent, pray for our country, pray for peace. Put on the full armor of God. But here's what they miss. Donald Trump is not even a person anymore. He is a symbol. He is a symbol of the average, everyday guy that keeps getting screwed every single time. Watches other people screw up big banks, screw up their companies, and get away with it. They see people all the time doing stuff that they know if they did, they'd be in prison for 20 years. But because they're not part of the elite, they get away with it. Donald Trump has taken arrow after arrow, and that's why this is the way the average American feels tonight.
Yeah.
I hope that there's a few Democrats out there, but this guy has been taking the bullets for the average person now for years, and people on the right feel like he's the only guy that really gets what the people are feeling, and it's not gonna end well for the Democrats in the next election. It's just not. I don't know if Donald Trump is the winner or not, but I will tell you this. You're not going to stop 100 million people. This country is in shambles. And there's going to be 100 million people that will walk on broken glass and through fire to vote for someone other than this corrupt banana republic administration.
That's, I think, exactly right.
Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight? Check out that full moon, right? I'm actually on the way to the gym, and I had a big encounter by the Lord Jesus that I need to get out. This is actually a warning. This is a message for whoever will take it. Please share this, get this out to as many people as possible. So I had a really big angelic encounter this afternoon when I got home from work. I was giving a little testimony and sharing things a little bit about what was going on in my day, what the Lord had done. And as that was happening, in my living room, the presence of the Lord flooded into my living room. I mean, really flooded. And as it flooded into my living room, instantly, a really, really tall angel, he had to be about 8-9 feet tall. Maybe, he was at least 2 feet taller than me, was standing there in heavy robes. The glory of God was coming out of his chest and belly. It was like God had deposited himself in this angel to shine, to give this message. He was radiating the light of God, like he had just came from Jesus. I'm not sure what part of heaven he was at, but man, he was filled before he showed up to me. And he came, and instantly, as he came, the Spirit of God was speaking to me. And it was like he was carrying a warning in his body. As he appeared, I instantly knew in my being, oh no, this is a warning. Okay? This is a warning. As that warning was being brought to me, I said, okay, what's going on here, right? This angel with 4 others, so it was a total of 5. The angel that showed up first, that presented this warning by the Spirit of God and was connecting to me, he blew his trumpet. Okay? He blew his trumpet with all 4. All right? They all blew their trumpet like an arrival, like, dun dun dun, here it comes. It was more of a here it comes trumpet, like declaring the manifestation of something. As they all blew their trumpet, it was all like they blew it once in unison. It wasn't like a song. It wasn't like that shofar that people know about in the Jewish custom. It was different than that, okay? It was one sound and a warning, and the angel said, there is water coming to cover California, and the West Coast. I instantly, after he said this, I saw a open-eyed vision right before me, and I saw the West Coast of America, from California, Oregon to Washington State. That whole thing, I saw a literal red line that indicated flooding. Flooding was coming. And as I saw that vision, the angel started to speak and declare that be ready. The Lord is going to allow something, all right? But this flooding will not be something that God ever wanted, because this thing will be caused by something that's not particularly natural. I have to speak coded. I cannot say exactly what this angel told me what was causing it. But this flooding is going to be tsunami-like. But it will not be by a natural reason. It will be something obscure, okay? Satanic devices. Okay, let's go with that. Satanic devices. And it will be beneath the ocean, and it will do things. All right. I saw as this angel declared what was happening and what was going to happen. The 4 angels were standing by with their trumpets down. This was such a holy, sacred moment. As he began to declare this, it was more of a warning for the church to be prepared for some startling things. Startling things. Okay? The church's eyes cannot be where they are. We cannot have our outlook on the world right now. We literally need to be buried our faces in the heart of God. I don't know when this is. I don't know any time frame. I was only given this warning and I was told to get it out now. One thing I will say also is that when I saw, after the angel declared what he declared, he blew his trumpet 3 times. And as he blew his trumpet, he was getting taller and taller and taller. I'll tell you a mystery. Angels can expand their height and their size. They do not have to stay the same height. All right? Understand how the fallen angels stole so much from heaven. All right? These Nephilim giants that's not a new thing to be. Being a giant is nothing. They brought it here because they were already doing it up there. Okay? So this is what he was doing. And he was growing taller as he sounded his trumpet 3 times. And then he just stood in the corner of my house. This is serious. I don't have this stuff happen to me, guys. I don't. So please take it for what you will. I love y'all. Be safe. Once again, this tsunami, this flood that's coming, will certainly be a flood out of nowhere. One last thing, it's out of nowhere. When I saw the waves, this whole wave came over the whole West Coast. It just showed up. It was quiet, it was silent, there was not an explosion, there was no earthquake. This thing will happen very deep beneath the ocean, and then the only thing that will happen is a wave will just come. It'll just show up. Okay? It's just going to show up. Readiness in Christ is the key. This is no fear. I am not fear-mongering. I am only giving a warning from the Lord. Please, I ask everybody, do not just turn this off. Go and pray. Go and pray. This is not a time to play. Seek the Lord and say, is this true? Go to the Lord and find this out, because I don't have angelic encounters. Not like that. All right? I love y'all. Be safe. I can't wait to see y'all this Sunday. And